The flashlight hit the ground. It didn't bounce, it didn't roll. It landed with a dull thud, its beam pointing straight down the narrow forest trail. Then, everything went silent. No one moved. No one breathed. Just 1 second earlier, Noah had been walking in front of us. Now he was gone. Not hiding, not running, not screaming, just gone. The trail stretched ahead for nearly 50 yards. Nothing but towering pine trees. There was nowhere to hide. No rocks, no bushes, no side trails, nothing. Yet somehow, he disappeared without making a single sound. Emily was the first to speak, barely above a whisper. "Noah?" Nothing answered. Jake slowly picked up Noah's flashlight. His hands were shaking. He swept the beam across the trees. Left, right, again. Nothing. Only endless rows of pine trees, disappearing into darkness. Then, something changed. The forest became quiet. Not normal quiet. Wrong quiet. The birds disappeared. Even the insects had gone silent. The only sound left was my own heartbeat, and somehow that made everything worse. Jake finally broke the silence. "We're leaving." No one argued. We turned around and started walking back. 10 minutes later, we stopped. The same fallen tree, the same broken wooden sign, the same pile of gray stones. Emily looked around. Her voice trembled. "I thought we already passed this." Nobody answered because we had Jake pulled out his GPS. The screen loaded for several seconds. Searching, searching, searching. Then, black. At exactly the same moment, every phone in our group lost signal. No bars, no GPS, nothing. That's when I noticed something even stranger. The sun hadn't moved. We had been walking for over 10 minutes, but the shadows were exactly the same. Time itself felt frozen. Nobody wanted to say what we were all thinking, because saying it out loud would make it real. We weren't lost. The forest simply wasn't letting us leave. Now let me ask you something. If every trail you followed kept bringing you back to the exact same place, what would you do? Would you keep walking, or would you stay exactly where you were and hope someone found you? Think about your answer, because before this story ends, you'll understand why neither choice was safe. 3 days earlier, everything was normal. 5 friends, 1 weekend, 1 forgotten hiking trail. Nothing more. We'd been planning the trip for almost 6 months. None of us believed in ghost stories. None of us were paranormal investigators. We were just old college friends, looking for a break from city life. Jake was our unofficial leader. Confident, practical. The kind of guy who believed every problem had a logical solution. Emily never went anywhere without her camera. She loved photographing abandoned places. The stranger, the better, Noah, was the comedian. He could make anyone laugh, even during the worst situations. Sarah was quieter. She noticed things the rest of us usually missed. Tiny details, small changes, the kind of things most people ignored. And then, there was me. I carried my camera everywhere. I liked documenting adventures, capturing memories. At least, that's what I thought I was doing. I had no idea I was recording evidence. Our destination wasn't famous. You couldn't find it on most hiking websites. Hidden somewhere beyond Black Ridge National Forest was an abandoned fire lookout tower. Old hiking forums mentioned it. Most people described it as beautiful. A few described it differently. One post simply said, "Don't stay after sunset." Another read, "The forest changes once you're inside." No explanation, no details, just those words. Of course, that only made us more curious. Saturday morning couldn't have been more perfect. Blue skies, fresh mountain air, not a single cloud overhead. Only 3 other vehicles sat in the parking lot. Jake smiled. "Looks like we've got the place to ourselves." As we unloaded our backpacks, an elderly park ranger stepped out of a small wooden ranger station. He looked to be around 70. Gray beard, weathered face, calm eyes, professional, not unfriendly, just serious. "Morning." Jake waved. "We're heading to the old fire tower." The ranger nodded. "How long do you plan to stay?" "Just the day." The ranger looked toward the forest, then back at us. "If you're not back before sunset," he paused, "don't continue hiking in the dark." Jake smiled politely. "We've all got GPS," the ranger answered, without changing his expression. So did the last group. Nobody laughed. Emily finally asked, "They got lost?" The ranger looked directly at her. "They were found." Silence. He unfolded a trail map, pointing carefully to the marked path. "This trail is safe." Then his finger stopped. "If you see another trail," he looked at every one of us, "don't follow it." We thanked him, started hiking. About 100 yards into the forest, Noah leaned toward me and whispered, "He's really committed to the mysterious ranger act." Everyone laughed. Everyone, except Sarah. She looked back. The ranger was still standing there, exactly where we'd left him, watching us. He didn't wave. He didn't move. He simply watched until the trees swallowed us. The deeper we walked, the quieter everything became. At first, it felt normal. Birds sang overhead. The wind moved gently through the branches. Squirrels darted between the trees. Then, one by one, every sound disappeared. Emily stopped to photograph unusually tall pine trees. Jake joked they looked planted with a ruler. Noah made another terrible camping joke. Even Sarah smiled. Everything still felt normal, until Emily suddenly stopped walking. "Does anyone remember crossing this creek already?" We all looked. A narrow stream crossed the trail. Beside it, a broken wooden post, its faded red paint barely visible. Jake shrugged. "Probably another creek." Emily wasn't convinced. "It looks exactly the same." Nobody argued. We kept walking. 20 minutes later, we reached another creek. The same broken post, the same faded red paint, the same twisted tree hanging over the water. Nobody laughed this time. Jake unfolded the map. According to it, there was only one creek. He slowly turned around. The first creek was gone. Behind us, the trail stretched perfectly straight into the forest, as if we'd never crossed any water at all. Jake slowly folded the map. "I think," he forced a smile, "we might have taken a wrong turn." The problem was, none of us remembered taking one. And somewhere, deep inside the silent forest, something had already begun following us.